how much does an IVF cost?
When we talk about the cost of IVF includes things like the procedure cost of the gonadotropin injections, and then there may be other factors like embryo freezing, additional medicines. Now, the main thing that the cost depends on is the gonadotropin doses, because that is the one thing that usually varies from couple to couple. And then not every couple will require embryo freezing or frozen embryo transfers. But by and large, to put a ballpark figure to it, it could range anywhere between about 1.7, 1.8 lakhs to about 2.8 to 3 lakhs for those who require higher doses of gonadotropins.
So the every injection is the
Yes,
cost.
the 10 to 11 days of stimulation that we use.
It's a cost.
Yeah.
But cheaper doesn't mean better.
Cheaper doesn't mean better. No, how can it? Because, everything has a cost that is attached to it that is justified. So, if there are the gonadotropin injections, for example, will come at a certain cost. Apart from that, the IVF package, for example, will include the clinic's ability to be able to invest in the higher quality equipment and training, which ultimately leads to success for the couple. So if we try to cut corners, if I try to reduce the cost, I'll have to compromise somewhere. What should I compromise on? The quality of the gonadotropin injections I use? I can't do that. Should I reduce an air filter from my lab? I can't do that. So if I try to reduce the cost, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll be able to provide a better service. In fact, the service might get compromised.
But sometimes they give you a low cost package, and then when you sign up with that clinic, then they will say, oh, to do this, you need more.
Yes, so which is why financial transparency is so important. In the very first visit, once we know which kind of a treatment the couple will require, or sometimes we don't even know right now whether they want to opt for one plan or the other, IUI or IVF, self-cycle or donor egg. But as long as they even know that there are options, I encourage them that go home with the complete information about the finances involved with both options as well, because that might also play a role in their decision-making process. And in the very first visit, when we are telling them, if I'm telling them the cost of a self-cycle or of an IUI, we are going to tell them all the costs. There is going to be no hidden charges. So what all the package includes and what the package doesn't include. Things that are not included in a package are, for example, things that every couple may not require. So why should we include it in the package for everybody? But even then, it should all be listed out so that they know that these are the kind of costs we might incur. And when they are financially prepared, then it takes a lot of the burden of the treatment off from them. So if I'm going to tell them initially only the cost of the basic IVF, and then not tell them that this is how much your injections might cost later, in case you need an embryo freezing, this is how much it will come to, this is how much your embryo transfer will come to, then for them, they are only mentally prepared for that one initial figure. Then everything becomes an added cost they had no idea about. So they are thinking in their mind that we need to spend only 1 or 1.2 lakhs, but it lands up becoming 2.5 or 3 that they were not expecting. So financial transparency, documented financial transparency, is also very important, and this is again something that couples should insist on when they visit a clinic.